Hello there and welcome to the Historica studio. Today we turn toward the entire history of London. London, a city that survived fire, plague, war, and invasion. But how did a small Roman settlement beside the River Thames become one of the most powerful cities in human history? In the next 10 minutes, we're traveling through 2,000 years of London's incredible story. London, a city of kings and queens. A city that survived fire, plague, war, and invasion. A city that grew from a small Roman settlement into one of the most influential capitals on earth. For nearly 2,000 years, London has stood at the center of history. Its streets have witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the execution of monarchs, devastating disasters, industrial revolutions, and world-changing innovations. Today, more than 9 million people call London home. But to understand how this global metropolis came to be, we must travel back to a time before the skyscrapers, before the palaces, and before England itself existed. This is the complete history of London. Long before London existed, the area along the River Thames was inhabited by prehistoric tribes. Archaeological discoveries reveal evidence of human activity, dating back thousands of years. Dense forests covered much of southern Britain. Small communities hunted, farmed, and traded along the riverbanks. The Thames was the region's lifeline. It provided food, transportation, and access to distant lands. For centuries, these communities remained relatively isolated. But everything changed in the year 43 AD. A powerful empire arrived from across the sea. Whoa! In 43 AD, Roman forces invaded Britain under Emperor Claudius. Recognizing the strategic importance of the Thames crossing, the Romans established a settlement known as Londinium. Within decades, Londinium became one of the most important cities in Roman Britain. Stone roads connected it to the rest of the empire. Merchants arrived from across Europe. Markets flourished. Temples, bathhouses, and administrative buildings transformed the settlement into a thriving urban center. But prosperity would not last forever. In 60 AD, a rebellion led by Queen Boudica swept across Britain. Londinium was attacked and burned to the ground. Thousands perished. Yet the Romans rebuilt. Stronger, larger, more ambitious than before. By the 2nd century, Londinium was home to tens of thousands of residents, and surrounded by massive defensive walls. It had become Britain's most important Roman city. As the Roman Empire weakened, Britain became increasingly vulnerable. In the early 5th century, Roman troops withdrew. The protection that had maintained order for centuries disappeared. Trade declined. Buildings crumbled. The once great city of Londinium slowly emptied. For generations, much of Roman London lay abandoned. Nature reclaimed the streets. Yet London's story was far from over. New peoples were arriving. The Anglo-Saxons. The Anglo-Saxons established a new settlement, west of the old Roman city. Known as Londonwick, it became a thriving trading center. Merchants from across northern Europe arrived with goods, ideas, and wealth. By the 8th century, London was once again flourishing. However, a new threat emerged from the north. The Vikings. Throughout the 9th century, Viking raids terrorized England. Many towns fell. But London endured. King Alfred the Great strengthened the city's defenses and restored London as a center of power. The foundation for medieval London had been laid. In 1066, England changed forever. William, Duke of Normandy, crossed the English Channel and defeated King Harold at the Battle of Hastings. Soon after, William secured London. To dominate the city, he ordered the construction of one of the most famous fortresses in history, the Tower of London. For centuries, the tower would serve as a royal palace, praise, treasury, and symbol of power. Under Norman rule, London expanded rapidly. Its population grew. Trade increased. The city became the political and economic heart of England. By the Middle Ages, London had become one of Europe's most important cities. Guilds regulated trade. Markets filled the streets. Churches dominated the skyline. Among them rose a magnificent cathedral. St. Paul's. Yet life was harsh. Disease was common. Poverty was widespread. And in 1348, disaster struck. The Black Death arrived. The plague killed tens of thousands. Entire neighborhoods were devastated. Despite unimaginable loss, London survived and continued to grow. The Tudor era transformed England. Henry VII broke from the Roman Catholic Church. Religious upheaval reshaped the kingdom. Meanwhile, London's population exploded. New businesses emerged. Exploration expanded England's reach across the globe. During the reign of Elizabeth I, London became a cultural powerhouse. One playwright captured the imagination of the nation: William Shakespeare. His works would help define English literature forever. The 17th century brought two catastrophes. In 1665, the Great Plague swept through London. Tens of thousands died. Just 1 year later, another disaster struck: the Great Fire of London. Beginning in a bakery on Pudding Lane, flames spread rapidly through the wooden city. For 4 days, London burned. Thousands of buildings were destroyed. Yet from the ashes emerged a new city. Architect Christopher Wren led rebuilding efforts, including the magnificent St. Paul's Cathedral. London was reborn. The 18th and 19th centuries saw Britain become the world's dominant power. At the center stood London. The Industrial Revolution transformed the city. Railways connected distant regions. Factories fueled economic growth. The population soared into the millions. By the late 19th century, London was the capital of the largest empire in history. Its influence stretched across continents. No city on earth commanded greater global power. The 20th century tested London like never before. During World War I, thousands of Londoners served on the front lines. Then came World War II. German bombers launched devastating attacks during the Blitz. Night after night, bombs rained down upon the city. Buildings collapsed. Lives were lost. Yet London's spirit remained unbroken. After the war, reconstruction began. New immigrants from across the world helped reshape the city into a multicultural metropolis. From a Roman outpost beside the Thames to one of the world's greatest cities, London's history is a story of survival, a story of resilience, a story of reinvention. Empires rose and fell. Kings ruled and vanished. Fires burned. Wars raged. Yet London endured. Today, traces of every era remain hidden among its streets, bridges, and landmarks. The city continues to evolve. And as it moves into the future, London carries with it nearly 2,000 years of extraordinary history. The story is not over. It is still being written.